and thank you for joining us. You're watching Fox News South Texas, and I'm Jonathan Cotto.
And I'm Reyna Rodriguez. Let's begin tonight in Westlaco, where 3 suspects are behind bars after a shooting at a local business early this morning. Police responded to a report of shots fired at the popular restaurant Bar Señor Mostacho on the 2300 block of West Expressway 83 at around 1:30 a.m.
A fight began inside the establishment. We tried to contain it, but they moved on outside, and then the shooting began soon after.
Witnesses at the scene helped identify 3 suspects. We're talking about 22-year-old Jose Juan Espinosa and Juan Alberto Lopez and 19-year-old Sheila Lee Escalante. All 3 were arrested and charged with deadly conduct.
Several Stark have been relieved of their duties after an investigation into a security breach last month. On October 29th, the county's jail administration looked into a possible breach after a facility was damaged, possibly by inmates. The Stark County Sheriff's Office, DA, and the U.S. Marshals are looking into this incident. A high-ranking official, 2 supervisors, and other staff were removed from their posts for failing to perform routine inspection and reporting protocols, actions investigators believe may have prevented the breach in the first place. No other details have been provided as this case remains open.
And McAllen police have identified the man who died after a negative reaction to drugs in the downtown entertainment district over the weekend. Authorities responded to a business on the 400 block of South 17th Street at around 1 a.m. on Saturday morning. 4 people had a negative reaction to a drug consumed. 29-year-old Sergio Sanchez from Alamo died after ingesting the narcotics. The 3 other men remain hospitalized.
Hidalgo County Sheriff's Office continues investigating a shooting over the weekend in La Villa that left 1 man dead. Deputies responded to reports of shots fired early Saturday morning on the 600 block of East 6th Street, where they discovered the body of 25-year-old Brandon Lopez with several gunshot wounds. Authorities continue working to piece together the events that led to his death. If you have any information over this case, you can call anonymously to the Hidalgo County Crime Stoppers hotline at 956-668-8477.
A McAllen man is behind bars after a 2-vehicle crash he was involved in left 1 woman dead last month. Investigators say the collision happened on the 3200 block of Ware Road early morning on Halloween. Both drivers were taken to the hospital for treatment. 48-year-old Guadalupe Macias succumbed to her injuries. The other driver, Jorge Hernandez Gonzalez, was booked on Friday for intoxication manslaughter with a vehicle. His bond was set at $350,000.
The FBI needs your help in locating a man who went missing in Nuevo Laredo and is believed to be a victim of kidnapping. 27-year-old Sergio Ricardo Jimenez Covarrubias was last seen October 10th crossing into Nuevo Laredo. He was driving a 2008 Chevrolet Tahoe. The FBI says his whereabouts are unknown, but they believe he is in Mexico and a victim of a kidnapping. Jimenez Covarrubias is 5 feet 7 inches tall and weighs about 140 pounds. If you have any information on where he can be found, you are being asked to contact the agency at 210-225-6741 or at tips.fbi.gov.
And rescue crews in Hidalgo County continued their efforts this afternoon to find a man who fell into a canal over the weekend. The Texas Parks and Wildlife Department, Hidalgo County Sheriff's Office, and the Mercedes Irrigation District and Fire Department were on scene at the body of water in Relámpago, searching for a man who fell in while fishing Sunday. Crews suspended the search until tomorrow morning. No more details are available at this time.
If we're not we're closely approaching a crisis level, and if the doctors disagree with me or someone, please tell me the fact that we're at capacity.
The city of Laredo's mayor voices his concern over the rise of COVID-19 hospitalizations in the region.
This as local health officials work toward alleviating the workload at medical centers.
Judith Rayo tells us what the community members are expecting and are wanting to do to protect themselves.
For 2 days straight, Laredo's COVID hospital rate has remained at 15% or higher. City leaders say if this continues, there is a high possibility they may begin to transfer patients out of town. Laredo's Health Authority continues to express the need for more doctors in the area as the numbers rise.
But more importantly, the hospitals are operating at capacity or near capacity. And we have seen that they have made limited room with their expansion and overflow protocols.
The local medical community has the support of a nursing home assigned as a COVID unit and emergency clinics. They continue to work to free up space at the hospital. City leaders fear Laredo may be entering a critical point in their battle against the virus.
It appears that things are moving in the direction that we just don't want to see ourselves in, but unfortunately this virus controls us. At this point, we can't control the virus.
Webb County continues monitoring the hospital admission rate and tells us what will happen if they remain above the 15% mark for 7 days straight.
The bars will automatically close, and we would go back to 50% operational capacity with the other businesses in our community.
Officials say it's important for the community to follow the safety measures in place, especially during the upcoming holidays. City and Webb officials say they continue to explore solutions to control the increase in COVID-19 cases. Reporting in Laredo for Fox News South Texas, Judith Rayo.
Thank you, Judith. And well, Reyna, the state of Texas reports over 6.8 thousand new cases of coronavirus just today.
This as the U.S. surpasses 11 million cases nationwide. Now let's take a look at how COVID-19 is affecting South Texas. Webb County leads the board with 175 new COVID-19 cases. Hidalgo and Cameron both reporting 167.
That's right, and Stark County has 25 more cases since Friday, according to the state of Texas's COVID-19 dashboard. Today, Willacy County, 15.
And South Texas is reporting 10 more COVID-19 related deaths. 6 died in Hidalgo County, 4 in Webb County. No new deaths in Willacy or Cameron County tonight.
And as health officials predict a steep rise in cases within the next few months, pharmaceutical companies may be providing a light at the end of the tunnel.
Moderna announced exciting news over their COVID-19 vaccine this morning. One of their laboratories right here in South Texas. Camila Peña brings us the details.
700 residents from the Rio Grande Valley are a part of the effort for the approval of the Moderna vaccine. Moderna announced this Monday that their experimental COVID-19 vaccine, which has been tested out on close to 30,000 patients throughout the U.S., has demonstrated a 94.5% efficiency in preventing the virus. Centex Studies in McAllen is one of the laboratories that is conducting the study among Hispanic volunteers.
Well, we'll continue to collect the data, and then depending on the actual approvals will depend on if the trials continue or not. From what I understand, we're going to continue to collect the data for about 2 years to see if you were to get to the vaccine, on how long did you have the antibodies.
Federico Vallejo, a pulmonologist at several hospitals in the valley, says the results are very promising and could have a lasting impact in high-risk zones like our region, where we have higher pre-existing medical conditions like diabetes, high blood pressure, and obesity.
This is huge news. For example, the FDA to approve a vaccine asks for above 50% efficacy. Our flu vaccine of every year can reach sometimes 60%, sometimes a little bit more. Some years it's even lower than 50%. This vaccine, in these preliminary independent review results, are showing efficacy similar to the one that we have for measles, that is 93%.
The CEO for Moderna told Business Insider that the vaccine could be available for the general public in June. Their first doses would potentially go to medical personnel, essential workers, and people at high risk, and would be ready as soon as December. The Pfizer prototype is another vaccine that has also shown positive results with a 90% efficiency rate. Reporting for Fox News South Texas, Camila Peña.
Camila. And after a strict disinfecting procedure, the Webb County Tax Office opened its doors to the community. The tax office closed after Webb County confirmed a positive case of COVID. The tax assessor collector says everyone was tested for the virus, and after receiving the negative results, they decided to reopen their doors.
We ask the public to please put on your mask correctly. It's for your safety, it's for the safety of our employees. Please remember we have a lot of elderly, we have people with in remission.
The tax assessor collector also offering the opportunity to complete your transactions online by visiting webcountytx.gov/tax-assessor-collector.
A family in Mission is hoping the construction of the border wall will cease once a new president is inaugurated.
The border barrier has sparked a fierce legal battle between the federal government and landowners. Daisy Espinosa brings us one of their stories.
The Cavazos family own over 65 acres of land along the Rio Grande River. A section of the border wall could be built on their property. The property owners hope President-elect Joe Biden can stop the construction.
Because our next president keeps saying, that he's going to get rid of whatever Trump was doing. Maybe he'll say no more wall.
Jose Alfredo Cavazos and his sister have taken over their grandmother's property that she worked hard to get back when women were not allowed to purchase land in the 1950s. Although the government has offered money for the land, they do not want to sell it.
And of course she kept telling us never sell this property, because in this property you can plant food in it and you'll never starve. You can raise goats, you can raise pigs, you'll always have food, So she kept insisting, never sell this property, no matter what they offer you.
Alfredo and his sister are disabled. They have over 30 tenants renting on their property. If a border wall is built in front of their land, it might affect them financially.
Might not want to lease here anymore because of the gate, that might have to open 2 gates. It might not be good for them, they might not want to lease here anymore.
Reynaldo Ansaldúa Cavazos tells us his grandmother's property means a lot to the whole family. He has gone out to Washington several times to testify against the wall. He says due to the laws that have been waived, property owners are not allowed to fight for their land.
The only thing you can fight over is how much money they're going to pay for what they're going to take from you. So by them doing that, they've taken your ability away to actually fight them in court, and that, to me, in my opinion, is un-American.
A private border wall has been built along the riverbank near the Cavazos farm. They say if a major flood hits the area, it will affect their land. The Cavazos family is trying to delay as much as they can in hopes that a new administration will stop the construction of a border wall before the government takes their property. Reporting for Fox News South Texas, Daisy Espinosa.
You're watching Fox News South Texas. Stay tuned for more.
This is an encore of the Valley's Fox News.
Welcome back. You're watching Fox News South Texas, and well, President Trump isn't backing down from challenging the election results.
That's right, and Fox News senior political correspondent Mike Emanuel is on Capitol Hill with the latest on where both campaigns stand, now nearly 2 weeks removed from Election Day.
In a flurry of tweets, President Trump kicked off the start of the work week, doubling down on claims he won the 2020 election. In the 13 days since voters cast their ballots, the Trump campaign has maintained there was widespread voter fraud, calling into question the election outcome and Joe Biden being declared the winner by multiple major media outlets. Monday, the Trump campaign pushed back on reports that the president's team has since scaled back its federal lawsuit in Pennsylvania. In a statement, a Trump official called such claims a, quote, mischaracterization of what the campaign is calling a restructure of allegations showing hundreds of thousands of improperly processed ballots.
We feel good about where we are and our ability to protect a free and fair election for the American people, that they can trust the outcome.
But even as the president and his team have lawsuits filed in multiple battleground states, President Trump's national security advisor, Robert O'Brien, offered a counter message Monday saying the president is preparing for a, quote, very professional transition.
The great thing is this is the United States of America. We've passed the baton and had peaceful, successful transitions, even in the most contentious periods.
Meanwhile, in Wilmington, Delaware, President-elect Biden and Vice President-elect Harris are moving forward with transition plans addressing the economy and the pandemic's impact.
I am hopeful that the president will be mildly more enlightened before we get to January 20th.
While Biden is the projected winner, the election results don't become official for another month when electors formally cast their vote on December 14th. In Washington, Mike Emanuel, Fox News.
Now, your Fox Weather Report with Karina Segovia.
Good evening, happy Monday. We take a look at our satellite and radar. We had mostly dry conditions throughout our afternoon. This is going to continue throughout the next couple of hours. We can expect a night with a couple of clouds, especially overnight. But taking a look at the drought area, especially across the region, we're under moderate conditions, especially towards Zapata, more portions of Stark County. Taking a look also at Cameron and Hidalgo County, portions from the city of FAR to Huasteco to San Benito, they're also under moderate conditions. But for tonight's low temperatures, especially if you plan on waking around 5 to 6 in the morning, we can expect 50 for the city of Ensenada, 54 for the city of Laredo, 57 for the city of Zapata, and 61 for the city of McAllen, and also for the city of Brownsville. So those chilly temperatures are not only expected tonight, but also throughout the next couple of days with temperatures in the 60s. But in the next 24 hours, we can expect mostly dry conditions across the Rio Grande Valley, and also taking a look at tomorrow's high temperatures, especially during our afternoon. 80 for the city of Laredo, 79 for the city of Ensenada, 83 for the city of McAllen, 81 for the city of Brownsville. We take a look at the feel-like temperatures in the 80s for the city of Laredo and also in the 80s for the city of McAllen. We take a look at our extended forecast in the next couple of days. Temperatures are expected to stay in the 80s, especially during our afternoon, but overnight temperatures, look at that, in the 60s. And this is going to stay with us until this upcoming week. Mostly dry conditions is what we can expect, especially in the next 5 to 7 days. During this upcoming weekend, high temperatures around 86 to 85 degrees. And starting next Monday, we're going to stay in those 80-degree weather. So keep that in mind, especially if you have any essential plans for the next couple of days. That's it for me. I hope you have a great evening.
And well, it's time to take a quick commercial break, but don't go anywhere. We still have lots more plus sports.
Yeah, stay with us.
Don't touch that dial. We'll be right back.
This is an encore of the Valley's Fox News.
The weather segment is brought to you by J. Gonzalez Injury Attorneys.
This is WWE superstar The Miz reminding you that SmackDown is all new this Friday on Fox.
Fox News South Texas, a news team dedicated to our community, covering all stories inside and out to keep you informed, keep you safe, and connected. Tune in weekdays at 9. Fox News South Texas, dedicated, determined, and dependable. Your Fox Sports Report with Brenda Gonzalez starts now.
Hey guys, the countdown has begun. The Lady Vaqueros are set to return to the courts in 10 days to kick off their basketball tournament. The UTRGV Vaqueros are ready to hit the court once again as they prepare for the start of the basketball season. The Vaqueros will be tipping off the earlier part of their season with 2 players on the injured list, Valeria Tapia and Sarah Bashir. Both are expected to return for conference play. The team has been training since August, 55 practices according to Coach Gord, who says they are just about ready to get the season going.
NCAA has not allowed us a scrimmage. They haven't allowed us an exhibition game. But, you know, everybody's in the same boat. So I think it's going to be pretty, everybody's going to be so excited to play. There may be 20 turnovers in the first 5 minutes from both teams.
Next Wednesday will be the Vaqueros' first game. It will be an away match against Texas Tech. The NCAA Division I Men's Basketball Committee announced today March Madness would be moving to a single site for the 2021 Basketball Championship. The Final Four and National Championships were already scheduled to take place in the city of Indianapolis. It is expected the entire tournament will now take place there. At this point, nothing has been finalized, although talks with the states continue. The NCAA tournament will kick off with the first 4 on March 16 and 17. The U.S. men's national team took on Panama in an international friendly match. The United States would take the first hit at minute 8 when Jose Fajardo appeared with a header goal to put Panama up on the scoreboard. Giovanni Reyna would show up 10 minutes later to tie the game for the U.S. The North American squad would go to halftime up 3-1 and would return to the second half to add 3 more goals to the scoreboard. U.S. beats Panama 6-2. This weekend, golfer Abraham Ancer from McAllen, Texas, ended his participation in the Augusta Masters at 13th place. Dustin Johnson was the winner of the competition. Abraham led the tournament last Friday. However, after placing 13th, he becomes the Mexican golfer with the best results of this tournament. And that's a wrap for sports. I'm Brenda Gonzalez. Now back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Brenda. Well, a new study suggests doing one simple thing before having surgery can improve recovery and prevent post-surgery delirium, a serious and common complication among older patients.
Mandy Gaither explains in today's Health Minute.
It causes confused thinking and a reduction in awareness. Delirium is common in older adults who are hospitalized.
I think it's been dismissed historically because people just think, oh, they're not thinking clearly like they did before surgery. That's normal. And it's not.
That's why Dr. Michelle Humidian, an anesthesiologist at Ohio State's Wexner Medical Center and lead author of a new study published in JAMA Surgery, decided to do some research. She and her team gave tablets loaded with games that exercise the brain to more than 250 adults over the age of 60, asking them to play for 10 days, an hour a day, leading up to a major procedure requiring general anesthesia. Humidian says not all who took part could play for 10 hours, but says those who played any brain games at all saw some benefit. But there's still work to be done. Humidian says future studies will focus on how brain games helps delirium and how much patients should play to reap the full benefit. For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Fox News South Texas continues after a quick commercial break.
This is an encore of the Valley's Fox News.
Fox News South Texas, a news team dedicated to our community, covering all stories inside and out to keep you informed, keep you safe and connected. Tune in weekdays at 9 to the only newscast serving the entire South Texas region. Fox News South Texas, dedicated, determined, and dependable.
Good evening. We take a look at our extended forecast in the next couple of days. If you have any plans, especially around 5 to 6, 7 in the morning, if you have to wake up early, temperatures are going to stay in the 60s. And during our afternoons, temperatures are going to stay in the 80s. At this time, we're expecting mostly dry conditions in the next 5 to 7 days. We're not expecting much rain, especially during this upcoming weekend. And temperatures are going to be in the high 80s, especially during Saturday and Sunday afternoon. Have a great evening.
Thank you, Karina. Well, a full team of NASA astronauts is on its way to the International Space Station, courtesy of this SpaceX rocket and spacecraft. Liftoff happened at about 7:30 Sunday night at Kennedy Space Center in Florida. The 4 astronauts aboard the crew should dock at about 11 p.m. Eastern Time tonight.
They're set to spend about 6 months there conducting research. NASA hopes this will be the first journey of many. Neat, right, Jonathan?
Very neat.
All right, that's going to do it for us tonight. Thank you so much for watching.
Folks, stay safe and stay healthy. Have a great night.
Good night.